I'm Yolanda Johnson-Bryant, and you're watching The Other Side of the Dash. Hey lovelies, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and please comment. We like to interact with the audience. And also share this video, share this channel with all your family and friends, especially those who are 50 plus and fabulous. So in light of being 50 plus and fabulous, today's guest is award-winning communicator professional, Pam Perry. Pam, welcome to the show.
Hey, Yolanda, thank you for having me. We have known each other in these digital streets for a minute.
It's been over 20 years, Pam.
I was going to say 2 decades, at least 2 decades. Yes.
It's been a while. And is this the first time I had you on one of my shows?
I think so.
Wow. Why is that? Because you're a hard person to track.
I don't know. Listen, the pandemic slowed everybody down, so that could be it.
Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for this to be over. But truth be told, I think it's going to linger for a long time.
Yeah. It has, for a whole year, our mindset has really shifted in terms of not being so anxious to get out in big crowds. So, you won't see the big, Woodstock type style concerts and people hugging, and it's like, no.
Well, I beg to differ. Here in Texas, you will see that. I have seen that, but see, I have been an introvert at heart, so the pandemic didn't bother me at all. Business kind of suffered a little bit, but but Texas, they're out there. I mean, they are really out there. So
my goodness. Yeah. Well, if you're over 50, I think really you should be careful. And it's just from the standpoint that it's just harder to bounce back if you do get it. It's just really harder to bounce back. And you could be what they call a long hauler.
Right.
And you don't want the rest of your life to be struggling over something that could have been avoided. So, yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, I am glad to have you here, Pam. I don't know what took so long, but you're here now. So that's all that matters. Now, you have worked with different clients, different people, different organizations from all different kinds of backgrounds, different ages, different races. But we're going to try to focus on those people that you've worked with that are 50 plus and fabulous, like yourself and myself. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So before we get into everything, just go ahead and give the people a little taste of what it is that you do.
So people call me the PR angel because I help them manifest media. I help them manifest TV, radio, and print. Even though there's social media, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's all of that. But traditional media is really where the credibility comes from. So my background in journalism really is the main thing that I use to help people get media exposure. So really working with authors and speakers, primarily Black authors and speakers for the last 2 decades, and those that are inspirational, motivational, and Christian.
Okay, so I tread on water when I ask this question because some people are finicky about it, some are not. May I ask your age?
61, born 1960. Yes.
And I'm glad you told us because you guys, anyone looking at this, Pam does not look 61 years old. Pam she looks a good late 40s and about early 50s. You do not look 61. You look good, girl. Those jeans are working for you.
Thank you. Black don't crack.
I guess not. Look, mine does. I see all these wrinkles up here, but look, I still think I look good for my age. So
yes. You know what? It is such a if we look at the Instagram world, with the years of filters and all of that kind of stuff, it can make people who are over 50 feel like, I'm just not going to take any pictures. But I'm like, I'm just glad to be here. And, I can put on eyelashes and makeup just like my daughter and get out here and take these pictures. And it may, I'm never going to look like my daughter's age, and I'm not trying to. But then again, I have a whole level of experience that she doesn't have either. So you leverage what you got. You know, you
And I'm
work with.
glad you said that, because that segues into one of my first questions is, so in this realm of what we have today for the 50 plus and fabulous woman, things are changing, things are evolving. I was just telling my husband the other day that I feel a little intimidated in the markets that I'm going after right now, because back in my day, I was the bomb, because my background, my college background was technology. But technology, when I was going to school 20 some odd years ago, actually 30, Lord, 30
Right.
something years ago, right? Uh, it does not even compare to what's going on today. So you have to, if you're not doing continuing education or keeping up, you're going to get left behind. So with that being said, how does a 50 plus and fabulous woman even try to get out here and compete and reinvent herself so that she uh, can make it just like everyone else?
That's it. That's it. You have to reinvent. You do have to reinvent. You have to be courageous and you have to not care if you're going to look dumb. Okay. I say that from the standpoint of so many baby boomers or even Gen Xers or whatever, they're afraid of how they're going to look. And that is a quality or characteristic of that age. Like, I don't want to look a certain way. I don't want to look stupid or whatever. And the younger people are like, I'm gonna just get out here and do it. It's just technology. I don't care. It may not work right. They don't care. And so what I say to baby boomers, it's like, it's not gonna be perfect. Just keep it going. It's brand new for everybody. I always have been an early adopter from MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok.
She
And,
is, she sure is.
and my daughter's like, you're not even doing a TikTok right. I said, I'm TikToking the way I want to TikTok. Okay. So it's just like, this is just my thing. And so you just have to try, whether you're going to do email marketing and which one you're going to use. I used Constant Contact at one time. Then I went to Aweber. Then I went to Active Campaign. It always evolved. So if technology is always evolving, then we should too. And what you just said is that we should be always learning. You're always learning something new. You're staying abreast of what is next. And that's one of the things that this little thing here is like your guide to what's next. So AARP, which we're part of, has this thing of like, what's next? It's like, what is your next? And they really just talk about how to help people 50 and over visualize that. And so many people don't. They think, my class, it's like, oh, I just can't wait to retire. So what are you going to do?
Right.
Nothing.
Right. I can't just sit around and not do anything. I'm retired, actually. I'm retired. I retired at 50, but I just am not the kind of person to sit around and not do nothing. And it's funny you mentioned AARP, because I used to partner with AARP doing seminars on health and finance. So that's really funny. We're going to see if we can get some more sponsorships and some more partnerships with AARP. But I'm glad you
I
mentioned that.
love them. I love
That
them.
now, do you think that, let's use communications because that's what your specialty is. Do you think that it's harder, or do you find when you're looking or talking to people that it's harder for them to get into that type of field? And if it is, you think you mentioned some issues before because they're afraid of looking dumb or whatever, which all goes back to fear. But do you see that really hindering people from, especially 50 plus women, getting into the communication field?
Yeah. So say something very simple, like they have a career that is so rich and full. Maybe they were a judge, or maybe they were a nonprofit leader, or maybe they were a head of a hospital. They just have like really rich experiences that they could share online. So I would say, you need to start a podcast. Ooh, I don't know how to start a podcast. You need to do a live. Ooh, I just can't do that. Ooh, but I was like, but you did this, you did that. I explained to them what they did in their career, which was really trailblazing and difficult and
Right.
hard. probably a lot harder.
Harder.
But you can't figure out how to do a podcast, or you can't figure out how to do a live, or you can't figure out how to get on Clubhouse. I mean, so part of it is the mindset, because you can
Right.
learn anything. You really can. And it's not like you're 50 and then your brain stops. So you can get on YouTube University. There's so many online courses. You can go to Udemy, you can go to LinkedIn. I mean, there's I coach, you coach. I mean, so it's not like I can't do it. It's like, do you really want to do it? And so starting a new career, I have one person, Dr. Geneva Williams. She is 72. She's gonna make me kill me
Wow.
because I said that. This is a new
Wow.
career for her as an actress. She was a nonprofit leader, president of a nonprofit. She began podcasting, blogging. She created an online course. She modeled, because after she did her pictures for her website, she was like, people were saying, oh, you really are so vibrant. Her program's called Vibrant Life. And so she signed up with an agency, sent in her photos. They called her for audition. The first time she submitted those things, she's 70 years old. She submitted them and they called her for a commercial. Then went everywhere. I saw it on CNN. She's on Billboard. She's just like, this was a flyer I got in the mail. I keep that near me because I was like cracking up. I was like, who would have thought at 70 that she has a brand new career? She can, they say, actress, model. Oh, and also she entered a beauty pageant for people 50 and
Wow.
over, and she was 69 when she won.
Wow. That is so inspirational. And you are among the inspirational people in that. But I know you have inspired others to go on and do things and do great things, to the point that they have been featured in major media outlets, magazines, television. And knowing this, um, can you speak a little bit on that and how it feels to see someone that you actually worked with go on to be do great things?
Yeah, well, one person in particular was a teacher, well, a teacher that I knew in high school, and she's retired now, and she's a judge, and she wrote a memoir, and the book was really good. So she was on Black News Channel, she was on PBS, and then she also won like book award, Book of Excellence Award for her first book, which was her memoir, which is
Wow.
so good. And so now, she's 72 or 73, and
Mm.
she's on Clubhouse. I mean, she just has rich. She was on the cover of my magazine. I got to show you the picture. Oh, do I have it? I can't find it right now. But she's on the cover of Speakers Magazine. I was like, you better work. And another person, she's not retired, but she's 61, same age as I, and she was just featured in Voyage LA. And Voyage LA is like there's Voyage ATL, Voyage LA, Voyage, different voyages. And so she was in there, and her whole, you know, interview was in there. And so many people who I knew she was wonderful. I've known her for years, and people were reading about it for the first time. Like, I didn't know all this about you. I'm like, oh my God, that's the power of media.
Right.
So it's just really cool to see things like that when I see different clients in different magazines or just getting different hits and things like that. And they see themselves too. What's really most important, Yolanda, is that they see themselves in a different light. They see
Yes.
themselves in a different light when they're in media. They may post something on Facebook, but when it's vetted through like a newspaper, or they see the clip from the TV interview or something like that, they see themselves in a different light. And that just is like a game changer for them. And then they say like, oh, I really can do this. And they're courageous about it.
Right.
And so when I work with people, one of the main thing, even though I help them be there as their publicist, the main thing is their mindset. And so I really just try to work with those Gen Xers and baby boomers to just make them feel like you can do it. Because what happens is they try to compare to the younger people. And we can't, I mean, the younger people can do what they can do because they grew up with technology. They could do the reels and make them real fun. I mean, they just have a different set of assets that
Right.
they're working
Yes.
with
Right.
versus us.
Right.
And so their assets, my daughter's assets, is not mine. I mean, she is beautiful. She posts one
She
picture on
is very
Instagram,
gorgeous.
and it's like a thousand people like the picture, and she only got like 1,000 followers. I'm like, but that's that's her thing, because she is, you know, Facebook went around when I was 25 years old, okay?
Right. Right.
so So I could pull out old pictures of me when I was 25. It's like, this is what I looked like when I was 25. I wore a bikini. I'm not gonna wear a bikini now. I mean, I probably could
You
if I
probably
was
could.
Angela Bassett. If I was Angela Bassett, I probably would. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's not my thing. So I just say just work on what is your strength and better that, because that's where really that's your zone of genius. And so Nicole Roberts Jones, I see she was on CNBC. She's over 50, so she's more like a Gen Xer. She was on CNBC. Now she's been around forever, but when she was on CNBC, she was ready. She had her B-roll, she had her picture, she had her lighting right. I was like, you go, girl. I was like,
Right,
that
right.
was it. That was
So
it.
we have to
Yeah.
learn how to stay in our lane, but do it very well, right?
Yes, yes, that's it. That is it. Just stay in your lane and do it very well. And I just say that be courageous. That is just have the confidence to do it. I see someone, I just talked to someone the other day and this is, oh, when I get it together, I'm going to pull together a program and maybe teach such and such. I'm like, you've been doing what you've been doing for over 15 years. Why would you not think that you have enough? I don't want people to perceive that I'm just that I'm the expert in the field or something. I said, but you are. I
Right.
mean, 15 years is a lot. And I could think of someone who just graduated from college. They are bold, they are tenacious.
So what are some of the books, because I'm a reader, I'm sure you're a reader, we're both writers. What are
Yes.
some of the books that you suggest that people read to help inspire them?
Well, one of the first, this has to do with mindset. This one here talks about 70 ways to beat 70. So remember, I'm 61, right? So
Wow.
I got this book when I was about 55. So this one just really talks about don't just age, live a vital and energetic life. And it really talks about the bones, building healthy bones, how to stay creative, how to be kind to your GI tract. I mean, there's just things that as we age, that unless you have older friends, they won't tell you. So I've always bought a lot of books. It's like, tell me what my next is,
Right.
and I always say finding contentment. It talks about that. If you don't have peace, you don't have anything. And that will make you age. If you don't have peace, basically, if you have like a really hairy life. This one here was a book on 100 ways to stay young, right? So
Okay.
this one is a fun book. Great tips and treatments for diet, lifestyle, health, and beauty. And I love this book. It just has a lot of different things in here. Just like it's inspiring. This one here is an AARP book. I like this one here, Roadmap for the Rest of Your Life. This one here, Smart Choices About Money, Health, Lifestyle, and Pursuing Your Dreams. So this was kind of like an AARP book here.
Okay.
These are all on Amazon. But it's like a workbook, this one here. It says the next 50 years, right? So it says a guide for women at midlife and beyond. Now, this one here was kind of like a workbook because you can go in here and do different
Oh,
exercises and things like that. Just things like, why should I exercise? Why should I lift weights? And again, it talks about bone mass and that sort of thing. So it just kind of, when we were younger, we didn't have to worry about that. As we get older, you do need to immerse yourself about what your next is. And then there's the book here in terms of careers. A lot of people may retire early. This book here is a really old book here. It's called The Encore. It talks about finding work that matters the second half of your life. Talking about an encore career.
right.
So it's like encore. So that's a whole movement in terms of that. But my favorite one is 100 Ways to Stay Young, because I could just read this anytime and it's just really cool. It has, makeup tips and all that kind of stuff, and how to really, your inner strength. And so this is like my favorite. It's more like a picture book.
So
But
I'll see some
yeah,
books I'll be adding
those
to
are
my library.
there are, and this one is fun too. It's not as picturesque, but it is really easy to read.
Right.
And it's one of those things like, and like I said, it's really more mindset, but there are little tips and tricks, that I always tell people that, you were saying about my hair, changing your hair every
Yes.
once in a while does help, make you feel young. This is like my summer do, but for the most part, changing things up, changing style, fashion. I mean, women are doing that, but one tip that my daughter told me, So it helps sometimes we have younger kids. She says older women wear too much jewelry. She says when you're going out the house, mom, and you have on and you're dressed up, take off at least one piece of jewelry. Take off a
Hmm.
necklace, take off a bracelet, take whatever. And I said, why? She says, and I said, why do you say that? She says, because older ladies feel like I got all this jewelry, I'm gonna wear it all right now. I said,
Oh,
I do have a lot of jewelry. We'll have on a necklace, we'll have on big earrings, we'll have on bracelets. She says, mm-mm, that will age you. That ages you because you're wearing too much. And the other thing she always says, but I just like it anyway, she says bling. A lot of older ladies will wear a lot of bling. And I said, yeah, because we want to be seen. We want to be out
right.
there. I came from the disco era. So yeah, I'm like Donna Summer. She said, yeah, but that ages you. She said, the other thing that ages you, mommy, she says cheetah. It's like, don't you wear too much cheetah, too much, that ages you because if you look at younger people don't wear cheetah because it's like, you're trying to wear cheetah, like I'm trying to be vibrant, trying to be like, yeah. She said, but that really ages you. So if you notice like really, really older ladies, they'll have a lot of cheetah print and stuff like that. And I just laugh and I was like, yo, I do, don't I? She's
Yeah, that's interesting. But let's go on into the fact, let's go into your platform, Aging Healthy. Tell us
yes.
about that.
So aging healthy was really when I turned 50. I said I really wanted to age healthy. I didn't want to be my mom passed and she didn't take care of her health. Okay. She
Right.
still smoked. She was thin, but she smoked. She didn't take vitamins. I mean, I would argue with her all the time and different things. So I said, I need to immerse myself in how to age healthy. And so the Instagram was just to inspire me on how to age healthy, like
Okay.
what you should eat, smoothies, green smoothies, uh, dancing, other people who are over the age of 50, seeing what they're doing, reposting them on my Instagram. It was just a whole thing of things that I needed to do to learn to consistently do in order to stay healthy because you can be think about Angela Bassett, right? I think she's 62. Think actually, but I can't remember how old she is. But anyway, she looks really good, right?
She
She
does.
works out with weights and all that kind of thing. So she's a person that or Beverly Johnson. Oh my God, Beverly Johnson is a former model. And you don't have to be a model or actress in order to look good. You just have to take care of yourself. So
Right.
drink teas, drink, if you're going to do essential oils, all of that. So all that is on that Instagram of aging
Right.
healthy, not just
Okay.
aging gracefully. Aging gracefully is a different type of thing. I'm talking about aging healthy, like in terms of your physical being, like what to eat right, how to exercise, how to take care of your teeth, go to the
Right.
dentist,
Right.
which I've put off like 2 months in a row, right? No one likes
You
to go to
got
the
pretty
dentist,
teeth.
but you have to go, right? It's like, oh, you have a cavity. I'm like, I'm too old to have a cavity. Really?
No.
Really? I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I'll be back. I'll come. I said, I can't make it. I'm busy. I'll go back. But you do have to go because taking care of your teeth is really important. My mother did not floss. She grew up in an age where they didn't floss. And so she had to have her teeth removed because of gingivitis. And it's like, okay, people would do better if they knew better. That was my thing. So I'm gonna know better so I could do better. And that's really the whole point of it.
And
And
I'm glad you said that people who do better, who know better, do better. But on the other side, there are people who know better, who don't do better, which goes back to that fear, or may I be frank and say some may be lazy, but I'm just going to say hopefully we're not lazy, we're just fearful because that fear, like I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you ever seen Dave Chappelle before.
I love
I
Dave
probably
Chappelle.
shouldn't be saying I've watched
I
Dave
love Dave
Chappelle
Chappelle.
before, where he did the Rick James skit. He said cocaine's a hell of a drug. Fear is a hell of a drug. So I'm glad you said that. I don't. Let's go back to fear, and we talked about fear, and there's some women that said, okay, but but you basically said, okay, well, just stay in your lane, just do it well. So let's
Mhm,
go back to the teacher that you said that had the 15 years of experience. So a lot of people are retiring
mhm, mhm,
and they've done a job for so long. What if
mhm.
they want to get out and do something else new? Now, I'm a believer of getting around people who are going the same direction that you are
Yes,
going around.
yes,
and networking. One of my things as an introvert, I'll get out there if I have to and network. But if I don't have to, I'm not going anywhere. So, but I know I need to, especially being back in Texas, in this big state, I know I need to get out there. So, what are some tips, or what would you tell that person like me on getting out there and networking and trying to push that fear aside? Because I used to say, fake it until you make it. But at some point, you got to stop faking it and make it. So,
Yeah. So it was interesting because about maybe 2 or 3 months ago, um, my someone from my class asked me to MC a virtual retirement party for them, for another colleague. And they had retired from an insurance company, had been there 30 years. And so all of our class members were all 60, right? And so I MC this type of event for him. And when I tell you, after I MC that, I had to go upstairs and like dance myself into a whole nother vibration because everyone seemed like they were on their last leg. Like, so I would say, so what are you going to do now? Oh, nothing. Any place you really want to go, on your bucket list, or someplace you want to say, I'll just probably just go visit some friends in different cities. Well, let's talk about finances. Well, how did you save? How did you prepare for retirement? I just saved my money. What'd you save? Oh, just 10%. And they're like, oh my goodness. So it was really a struggle just trying to get, and says, well, what is it that makes your life exciting now? Because they always hear, especially with men, once they retire from a job, it's a short window of time before they die because they don't have anything to look forward to.
right.
So I was trying to pull out, what is it that you look forward to? What's excite you? So he said, well, I said, I see where you went to art school. And I worked in insurance. I said, do you still like art? Oh, I love art. I love to draw. I love to paint. I do anything. I do photography. I do this. And he started pulling out stuff that was showing us on the Zoom. And I was like, that's your thing. Do you want to, is that what you want to do? Yeah, I really want to do that. Finally, it was like, okay, it hit. It's like, so if you know that's your passion, one, join a group. I don't know, the Artists of America, whatever that is, right? Follow all the art people on Instagram, Facebook, and join their groups. Two, go to, if you can't go to a conference, go to a webinar, but, go find people on LinkedIn, people who are doing things art. Get an Etsy account. Try to figure out how to sell your stuff on Etsy. I mean,
Right.
there's certain things just to start immersing yourself in that area, because his career for the last 30, 40, 50, whatever years was just in insurance. So now he needs a new cadre of people that he needs to talk to every day about art, how to sell art, what's new in art, what are people buying, how to start an Instagram account, how to sell your art, how to display your art, go to art shows, talk to other artists. It's like, okay, so art's gonna be your thing. So let it be your thing. Don't just think like, oh, well, I'm just gonna paint at home and whatever. And so I said, well, how did you make the move from, wanting to do art and then working in an insurance company? Basically said, so many words, it's like, I want to buy a car, and people were always saying, you're going to be a starving artist. And so I just got a job and painted on the side because I didn't want to be a starving artist. And I said, okay, well, now you've got retirement behind you. Now you can go on and be that artist that you always wanted to be. That dream that was always on the back burner can bring it to the front burner, but you still have to learn some stuff, and
Right.
I always tell people, I said, reading the books, joining the associations are really, really important. A lot of people say, I want to be a coach. Well, maybe be certified as a coach, or I want to be a speaker. Well, join some speaking organizations, go to Toastmasters, whatever it is, you've got to practice it enough so you're not scared.
Right.
Practice
Right.
it enough so you're not scared. And one of the things, when I knew that I wanted to do PR directly for authors and speakers, authors, speakers write and writers speak. So when I knew that, I went to all the book associations. I joined the associations. I read Publishers Weekly. I read Writers Digest. I spoke at CBA. I spoke at Book Expo America. I went to the things, and so I immersed myself, whatever I had to do. American Christian Writers, I started an organization. If there is not an organization that fits what you do, then start it and then you do it. And so I always did that. So when I did American Christian Writers Association in Detroit, it was because there wasn't one in Detroit. So I started it and it grew and I ran it for 10 years. And then I taught people how to promote and market their books. They also came and learned from other people on how to write books, how to produce books, how to publish books. But I basically told people how to promote and market and
Right.
build your platform. And I did that for 10 years. That was how I learned a lot of it because I
Right.
started the association and people gathered around that interest.
Right.
And at first it started with 10, 20, 30, and every month we would probably have about 30 to 40 people every single month for 10 years.
Right. Right.
40 people, 40 different people every single month for 10 years.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I used to be in Toastmasters, as you know, up until we just moved back here to Texas. But you can join groups like Toastmasters, which the fees are not very high at all. They were
Mhm.
surprisingly affordable, but you don't have to do Toastmasters. Join a speakers group, do some of these suggestions that Pam just suggested. Another thing, Pam, that I'm just baffled about, people will spend hours on the internet. They will watch what people are doing, which is good in an aspect if you're trying to find some help, basically. But they just spend so much wasted time on Facebook. They will watch YouTube videos about cats and this and that. There is so much valuable information. A lot of people say, like you were saying earlier about someone who said they didn't know how to do TikTok or whatever. I'm going to tell you the truth. Before TikTok, before Snapchat, I was on every single social media platform there is. I've gotten behind because I'm raising my granddaughter, but I'm gonna tell you,
Probably
I
show
didn't
you.
join a Clubhouse until I saw you. So basically, I kind of placed myself with someone that I admire that's doing going places, that's doing things where I want to be, kind of. So you look at that, and it baffles me how people who say, "Well, I don't know how to do this or that." Honey, you can learn anything you want to learn on YouTube for free. Now, there are some more, I mean, you got to filter through it, but there are some more guided places that you can look where you can pay. And sometimes you have to invest in making that change
Mhm.
and in that reinvention. But if you can't afford, because not everybody can afford it, and we understand that. But there is so much valuable information on YouTube, and why people do not utilize it just baffles me.
Mhm. Well, it's one of the things where people are it's interesting to watch a video about a cat or a dog or whatever, or the red table talk that adds no value to your life, or you just have to have vision and have goals. And so for me, I've always had, like I said, these particular books were interest to me. So that's one area of interest that I have. Then I have another interest. So if it's an interest and I'm going to get the books, the conferences, associations, the YouTube videos, subscribe to the blogs, it's that area. So I'm not distracted by all the other stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff is interesting or whatever, but if I know I'm interested in Black history, then I'm a follow like Karen Hunter or the narrative with Dr. Greg Reed or Nikichi Taifa or something like that, because I know they know a lot more about my history in terms of what was now being revealed, like the Tulsa uh, massacre. You
I've never
know,
heard of it
thank you. There's a there's
until recently.
but there's a lot, so that made me think there's a whole lot of stuff about my Black history that my Black behind don't know. So I'm gonna follow people who have been in that movement. And I'm gonna be in there, and it's like that is not gonna happen again. I'm gonna know all about it, and so even like Project 1619 and all this kind of stuff, it was like, whoo, I am just like so clueless. So that's an area. That's a whole nother area that I have to study, read, and do that. So why people don't? So I have a program that's very economical. It's only $100 and something a month, where they can learn about how to build your platform, how to podcast, how to publish, how to do PR, this and that. It can be a lot, but they can go in there and they can learn it. Majority of the people will sign up and think by just signing up, osmosis is just going to jump on them and they're
They
going to
don't
get it.
show up. They don't show up.
They don't show up. So it's like, you know what? I can lead a whole horse to water, but I can't make them drink. So
No.
it's a point of how motivated you are. I'm motivated because I know there's more of my life behind me than I have ahead of me.
Yes,
So I'm not gonna
and
waste.
ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. It's like, so I know I gotta maximize it. And the pandemic has probably showed a lot of people that, you know what, I can't just wait, because this is, What if we go through another shutdown again and everything is closed up again? What are you going to do then? I mean, you can't make excuses for yourself. So you got to stay motivated. I had wanted to start a magazine. This is my third magazine. This one here is like the Speakers Magazine. This is the third time I've started a magazine. And
Okay.
this one worked. Why? Because it has a different business model. It's half digital, half physical. It has the different things that I've done. I couldn't have done with what I've done with this 10 years ago because the tools, what I'm using, wasn't even available then,
Right,
right?
right,
So, so a lot of things happen because you just keep at it. You're being relentless. You're really pursuing all the things that you want and the timing of it and the people you're connected with. We've known each
right.
other for 2 decades, but now we're on a particular platform that wasn't available
Right,
years
that's
ago,
right. That's
right?
right. That's right.
So, and eventually you're in the Houston or the Dallas area.
I'm in Dallas area.
Dallas area. So I
Mm-hmm.
love the Dallas area. I like the DFW area, Frisco, all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
eventually
Mm-hmm.
that's like one of my areas that I just really just feel drawn to, besides TD Jakes is there too. I really do like him as well, but
Right.
it's just one of those areas that we may meet up in Dallas one time. And that can only happen just from social media, which is the key thing, social media.
Right.
We keep up with each other through those type of things. So when people spend so much time scrolling, you know, if you're 25, that's fine. You could scroll and just kind of, but if you really want to be in business or you want a new career, you need to follow one or two people, not follow everybody, but one or two people, see what they're doing,
Right.
and kind of like let them be your online mentor,
I
and just see
agree.
what they're doing. Don't follow a whole bunch of people. I mean, I can follow Gary Vaynerchuk and Amy Porterfield and I don't know, different people, but they all have different vibes. So follow the people that have the vibe like
That you
you.
have. Right. Right.
Because Gary Vaynerchuk is a different vibe. I mean, I will explain to people to watch him for shock value, but don't follow him if they're a Christian, obviously, because he cusses all the time because like a sailor and this and that. I said, so, but just see how bold he is and how he just doesn't care. So I try to push him in the water and said, listen, you're not going to drown. Just try it. Just
Right.
you'll be okay. So I
Right.
just tell him, I says, he made millions of dollars just by going on Twitter and YouTube, and you
See.
scared to go on live. He's like,
See.
it's like, turn the live on. Turn the live
Right.
on. Now, sometimes some people are just going on live with no really content strategy. But if you have content that you want to share, you have to be bold enough to go
Right.
out.
To go and do it.
You'll get better as you practice. You'll get better.
Right. So Pam, what do you think about 50 plus and fabulous owning pets? What do you think about
This is my little Peppy.
is it a
So
girl or
these
boy?
things, they really do. They really do. Now, the story behind this was that I got Peppy for my mom because she was always acting so bored. And then I heard that pets really help, older people or whatever. And it was kind of like for emotional support to really kind of help. And she was like, I don't want no dang on dog. And I was like, you don't want that? I said, he's so cute. And so she said, no, I don't want it. So I ended up keeping Peppy. And he has been like the best thing that I have had in my life. He is so sweet. And they keep you young. You got to walk them. You can't sit at your computer all day because it
Right, right.
hey, I got to go outside. I mean, it's just been, I had a dog when I was little, but as an adult, it's a whole nother thing. So I always say, if you are going to retire, get a pet, get a dog. I'm preference to dogs, and they will really keep you young,
I
because you
am
play with
I am
them.
looking for a dog, but I have to have the right dog. I don't want a big old dog. I want
No,
something
and
cute
don't get
like
a
that or
dog that
smaller.
shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be groomed. He doesn't shed, so you don't have fur everywhere. So you do have to kind of like have to have him groomed and that sort of thing. But that's like the main thing that
What kind of dog is it?
it's a multi-poo. So it's a Maltese and a
Oh,
poodle.
oh, he is
It's a
so
Maltese and a
cute.
poodle. And he's just so calm. And the energy of the dog just keeps you calm and centered, just really like a lot of fun. I was talking to another girlfriend who retired to Phoenix, and she has two dogs, and she's just, it's just like the antics that go on between the dogs. It's just fun. It's just another thing. Now, if I were in my 20s or early 30s, I'd be trying to figure out how to hang out at the club or whatever. But but when you're like about 50, 60, it's like this is fun right here, so you
Right.
go out, you walk the dog, you take the dog grooming. I've taken the dog to the grocery store with me. I mean, people who see you with dogs on the street, they probably won't even talk to you, but if they see you with the dog, they say, "Oh, that is so cute," and they just
Right.
start talking to the dog. And I was like, "But you're my neighbor, you never even said hi to me before." Yeah, it's real interesting. It's real
Wow.
interesting, but dogs really will keep you young. They really are. They're a lot of fun, and they give you unconditional love. Unconditional love. George Fraser told me that, my mentor. He says, the dogs are the one thing that you could just be whatever, and they give you unconditional love. And it's just such a good feeling, it just really is.
Well,
They
I'm
are so
looking.
excited when they see you come home and
I
all of
know. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking. We had one a while ago, and he got sick. But he's gone. It's been about 8 years now. But I'm looking, and hopefully soon I will find the right fit for me,
yeah.
because my granddaughter is like, well, I want a dog, but we know she's in her preteens, getting ready to be a teenager, and I was homeschooling, and we're going to do public schooling now. And I know as soon as she gets involved in school, she's going to forget about a puppy. So it's going to be my puppy.
It will be your dog. Yes, I will. That is for real. When they're teenagers and early 20s, they ain't trying to hang out with no dog. It'll
Right.
be your dog. So that'll be
Right.
fun. But yeah,
Well,
for right now, it'll be kind of okay, like as a distraction. But she starts getting involved in school and her friends.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
but they are cool.
thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. He's so sweet.
Well, Pam, I have enjoyed talking to you again. Like I said, I don't know what took us so long, but I'm glad we're here, and I really enjoyed it. And I do look forward to speaking to you. I look forward to speaking to you again.
Yes.
And I follow you. I may not like all the time, but I'm watching, and I'm like, oh wow. Like I was telling you, I was afraid to ask how old you were, but I did see a post, and I'm like, there is no way. There is no way. You're very inspirational. I just, keep being inspirational, keep being you. There are a lot of people looking up to you. Not saying that you're necessarily a role model, because I know a lot of people don't want to be put in that shoe, but um uh I just thank you. So just keep on doing that. Before we go, and before our spotty internet cuts off again, because I just got a warning, go ahead and tell people, because you're all over the internet. I just say Google Pam Perry, but give them that one hub where they can reach you.
The one hub is pamperrypr.com. That's really like the main hub. They can find out about the magazine, about the programs, the blog, the podcast, which is a video podcast. It's about PRs, Clubhouse. They'll find out my Clubhouse stuff. So I haven't updated the blog in a while. So make sure you go to pamperrypr.com. That's where I put my best content is on the blog. And they can also download my free ebook there as well.
Well, thank you, Pam. I look forward to talking to you soon. I look forward to checking out those TikTok. The last one, TikTok, you were dancing. So I look forward to checking those out, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And may God bless you in all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.